G'day. So I just wanted to do a video on something that is in the nature of evil that's been creeping around on the earth for a very long time. It's been written about in various Jewish texts. One of them is the book of Tobit, T-O-B-I-T, or Tobias. Also mentioned in the Testament of Solomon. A demon, basically, which is known as the Destroyer, ostensibly supposed to be either a king or a prince of earthly demons, and basically is responsible for one of the 7 deadly sins and this one is specifically the sin of lust. So this demon, as it manifests itself in the world, is quite shocking, surprising, and very real. I've encountered people that are either possessed by this demon or extremely under the influence or control of it. And it surprises me that this particular demon has been able to gain such a strong foothold in the world at the moment. It seems to have gained a lot of strength, I would say, and I would probably attribute that to the fact that there's such a high proliferation of pornography. So there's lots of pornography that's available out in the public domain to a wide range of people who have access to the internet. Needless to say, there's books and magazines of pornography, there's pornographic videos and things, but the fact that the internet now has a large amount of pornography on there means that people are getting exposed to pornography that's, more graphic and more easily accessible from a younger age. So it's, that provides a stronghold or a foothold for demonic activity, demonic influence. And this specific demon, Amadeus, I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly. So in any case, it also appears as a character in the television series Supernatural. There's a character in that series which is the demon Amadeus. It's a guy that has like scratch marks on his face, and he wears a white suit, and he gets around, and he's very lustful in his behaviours and things like that. If you look it up on Wikipedia, there's depictions of the beast or demon. It's quite hideous, with sort of animals on either side, and it's riding some sort of lizard-like creature, and it's got this lustful look on its face. And apparently when it fell from heaven, or it was kicked out of heaven by one of the angels, it got injured, and so it's also referred to as the limping, the lame, or the demon with sticks, something like that. So there's quite a few interesting references to it, its physicality and things like that. But when I've encountered this demon as it's had an influence on other people, I've noticed a strong odour, an extremely strong odour. Like last night I encountered somebody that had this demonic presence around them, and I virtually gagged, like in the presence of this person. It's a really strong, pungent odour that almost induces a gagging reflex. The closest thing I can describe it to is like a sort of excrement type of smell. It's despicable. Anyhow, that's how I sort of can detect it, obviously influencing people. But from what is known historically from the book of Tobit, this demon is able to influence people in a lustful way. So if you read the book of Tobit, it describes how Tobit's wife was under the influence of this demon. She married successively 7 men. She consummated the marriage with each one of them and then proceeded to strangle them to death. So she married, slept with, and strangled to death 7 men under the influence of this demon, Amodius. So it's got an MO, basically, like a modus operandi, which is what they talk about in criminal textbooks and things like that. And I would say, that its influence, either as a possessing spirit or as an influencing spirit upon humanity, is something that is seen time and time again in criminal cases. Because that MO is like textbook of a sex offender type of serial killer. The person that is a serial rapist, murderer, goes around, as a sexual deviant, forcing themselves onto people and then strangling them to death, and then possibly inflicting other injuries, such as the classic case of Jack the Ripper. I mean, Jack the Ripper is a textbook example of the demon of lust, basically. Exactly what that demon's MO is. Yeah, so I mean, having said that, you think to ourselves, okay, so these demons are out there, that they've got influence and access into the world. Probably its main avenue is all the lustful media content that's out there. So we need to steer clear of that for a start if we want to avoid, being under the influence of that demonic presence. We've got to avoid lustful subject matter, materials. Obviously, you want to. The other aspect that's becoming very prolific and prevalent in our society is places of prostitution or massage parlours that offer, sexual services and stuff like that. They're popping up all over the place. You see those places everywhere now. There's a high percentage of sex workers and places that offer that sort of a service, in our modern society. So it's going back to the kind of atmosphere of Whitechapel during the Jack the Ripper murders, a seedy environment that's sexually perverse or promiscuous, so that's the environment in which this kind of demonic presence flourishes and goes unchecked. People are not aware that they're under a demonic influence. A lot of people don't even believe in demons, let alone the fact that they could be under the influence of them. So it's hard to educate people about these things when they're so close-minded to it, or they're so strongly under the influence of it. They're not aware that their thoughts, feelings and actions are being motivated by another unearthly force. That just seems mind-boggling, doesn't it, really, when you think about it. Yeah, so with all these avenues for it to get into the world and influence people, like I said, through pornography, through places that offer sexual services, through films and television even, it's so much stuff that involves lustful thoughts and lustful behaviours. I was just watching a show the other day, a movie which I thought was fairly harmless, with Steve Martin in it. It's called Novocaine, sort of things, like about a dentist or whatever, and got sort of a short way into it, and then suddenly realised that the themes of the show involved adultery. A married man, having a sexual relationship with his one of his patients. So here we go. It's showing me adultery, themes of adultery. So what am I to gain from that? I mean, is it advocating that adultery is a good thing, or it's okay, or it's a bit naughty, but it's okay, you can get away with it or whatever, have fun with it, play with the idea of it, and it doesn't lead anywhere bad, or doesn't have any bad consequences. Well, you know and I know that that's a lie. That one thing leads to another, that you end up on a path, path of destruction, and that's what the name of this demon is. It's a destroyer. It will destroy you from within, destroys you with lustful temptation and desires. You become a robot, you become completely controlled by it, and to the point where, you're going to end up like Jack the Ripper, going around using people for your sexual gratification and killing them. That's a horrible thought, that you could end up like that, but that's where this sort of thing leads to. So, avoid it at all costs. I know there's movements out there at the moment that are saying, they're trying to promote the idea that, we're moving away from the idea of the Christian ideal of marriage, that marriage is between a man and a woman, that we're, monogamous in a relationship for life and things like that, that society has moved on, that's old-fashioned and stuff like that, and that everything's okay now, Well, that's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous way of thinking, and it's a very dangerous way of living. And the Christian teaching is that it's not what is good for us. It's not the best thing for us. We're opening ourselves up to be influenced by lustful, demonic influences. That's what it is. You gotta tell it for what it is. So be aware of these things. If you read the Testament of Solomon, the authorship of that is not 100% certain. It's an unusual text where they say that even though it's put out there as being a book that was written by Solomon, King Solomon, and that he was able to trap and control demons, Amodius being one of them, that he was able to trap this demon in order to gain its assistance in building his temple. But that at the end of the day he was foolish, because he got seduced by a lot of these demons that he was playing with or toying with, and he was trying to work out how to influence and control them, and how to thwart them and things like that, and through magical means and whatever. But at the end of the day, he realised that he was playing with fire, and the only thing that can truly thwart demons or demonic influence is the Son of God, Jesus Christ. Guaranteed. Any demonic influence or high demon, no matter how high in the hierarchy they are, Jesus can thwart them. So bear that in mind. We are able to get God's assistance and call upon the name of God, and call upon his power through prayer. So if there are demonic influences in our life, we can be released. We can be freed from these lustful desires, these lustful influences. I've heard this mantra out there that you've got to do what you've got to do. Well, we're not animals, actually. We're distinct from animals. Human beings are distinct from animals. There's actually only a limited number of things that we've got to do. Actually, when you look at it, we've got to eat, we've got to drink water, we've got to breathe air, we've got to pass those waste products out of our body. We're motivated to have a sexual relationship and have intimately, but do we have to? No, we don't. In fact, we don't. We won't die if we don't have a sexual relationship with somebody. Seriously, you won't die. So, and who you choose to have a sexual relationship also is not something that you're compelled to do. You've got to do. You've always got a choice. Free will. Freedom to choose. So you need to choose wisely. And if you feel that you are being influenced, are being compelled, think again about what you believe. Think of the possibility that there are angels and demons, and that these are powerful beings that can influence your thoughts, feelings, emotions, that you can be under the influence, if not in fact possessed by these forces, these creatures, and that they could be leading you to do things that you never intended to do. You know, I know that there's the legal argument of the devil made me do it. Seems far fetched, but in a lot of ways, there's a lot of truth to that. There are demons out there that can influence and do influence us, and I can see it everywhere now. It's becoming widespread. This lust demon has really got a grip on us in a big way, and people are falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. It's like a black hole that's sucking people into hell. Seriously, guys, it's time to think again. Start reading the Bible. Start learning what it is to have a relationship with God through His Son Jesus Christ. Learn that He is the most powerful person in the universe, and that having a relationship with Him is paramount of importance. He can free you from anything, from any sinful thoughts or desires, if you call upon His name. I encourage you to do that. God bless.